is SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey a villain? And I really don't understand the vitriol around Greg Sankey. I know this is not new or groundbreaking. I've talked about this 1,000 times on the show. Greg Sankey's the most powerful man in all of college football. I don't think there's a question about it. When a commissioner of college football, which is going to happen when that is finally made and somebody is selected, if it's not Greg Sankey, it shouldn't be anybody, because he is, I think, the innovator. I think he is the power broker. He is the czar, the don, the man of college football. Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC. You don't have to like that. I know there's a lot of you who watch this show who hate Greg Sankey, but I got news for you. You don't have to like it, but you better learn to love it, because Greg Sankey's not going anywhere. And with this Big Ten SEC alliance that has scared so many, Greg Sankey's become more of a heel, more of a bad guy, more of a villain, and I frankly do not understand it. And we're going to get into this Big Ten SEC thing, but I want to play you this bite. Greg Sankey talking about this idea that everybody in college football wants to be the SEC.
I don't want to dumb down the Southeastern Conference to be part of some Super League notion with 70 teams that some people speculate would happen. They want to be us, and that's on them to figure it out, not on me to bring myself back to earth.
Dude, I love it. The Triple Option Podcast, that link is in my Twitter feed on X,
formerly known as Twitter.
It's on my X feed. Go and get it. The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. I love this, and I'm going to play it again because I agree with this notion 100%. It is not Greg Sankey's job to worry about what everybody else in college football is doing. His job is to make sure that he positions the SEC in the best possible position to win.
I don't want to dumb down the Southeastern Conference to be part of some Super League notion with 70 teams that some people speculate would happen. They want to be us, and that's on them to figure it out, not on me to bring myself back to earth.
I don't know how you even make an argument against that. I truly do not. Whether you're a small business owner, whether you're a bro doing curls in the squat rack at your local gym.
Do you even lift?
It's not on you to worry about what everybody else is doing. Greg Sankey and this idea that he somehow should slow his roll, or no, he should not. He should keep doing and what he's been doing. And Jake, that's building the best brand in college football.
Yeah, and I think, when you have the level of success the SEC has had, you're going to have haters. You're going to have people who, think the SEC is destroying college football and, think that the SEC, lives on this double standard where they get all these teams into the college football playoff, but, the Big 12 or the ACC or the Group of Five doesn't have the same opportunity. Well, I got news for you. They don't have the same opportunity because they haven't earned that opportunity. And I think, it does get tired sometimes when it's Alabama and Georgia every single year. And in the past, I've on the show said that even for me as a football fan and a football observer watching these games, sometimes it does get tiring. But I got to be honest with you guys. Watching Bama Georgia last weekend, I was not tired of that. I'm here for that. I am here for big time SEC matchup football games. And I think, I give Greg Sankey a lot of credit for understanding, not only who he is and where he's going in his own personal career with college football and college athletics, but understanding that the conference he's leading not only has a responsibility to take college football and college athletics into the future and into the next 10 years, but also that they get to decide and really affect change. And that if they do a poor job of that, that's going to have a ripple effect across the entire landscape. So to me, when I hear this clip, yes, is it kind of a hot take out of Commissioner Sankey? Yeah, of course. He's drawing a line in the sand saying, hey, they want to be us. That's not right. My responsibility, not my job to come back.
But is that a hot take, or is that just the reality of being a boss?
I think a little bit of it, maybe 30% of it, is him enjoying that view that he has, enjoying the fact that the SEC and himself are up on that perch that they've built. And again, they deserve credit for that. That's not been gifted to them. They've
That's
earned
right.
that. But
That's right.
But I think, the other part of it, the other 70% of that comment is facts. It's true. Like the SEC, plays the biggest games on the biggest TV networks, and is consistently dominating the conversation. And you don't have to like that. And I understand why an ACC fan or or a Big 12 fan wouldn't like that, but it is the reality of the situation. And at some point, we have to be okay saying, yeah, you know what, like yes, a super league would be is probably necessary when it comes to the financials of running these football programs and athletic departments. But at the same time, Greg Sankey is not just going to throw a super league together and dumb down what the SEC has built.
I have no problem with Greg Sankey, and I know that's not the popular opinion, and I usually get swooped on here for that. I respect Greg Sankey. I think he's the best commissioner in college football. I think that he has taken up a position that is very easy to fail at. And I think he has not failed. He has not succeeded. He has, in fact, thrived. And if you're a fan of the Big 12, the ACC, any G5 team, and you have an issue with Greg Sankey, frankly, your issue is with the commissioner of your conference and your conference's inability to compete at the same level as the SEC. This is, to me, I look at this Big Ten SEC rumored scheduling alliance. Why would they do anything else other than that? And why is that bad for college football? It's not. You have to raise your bar. And that is a life lesson. That's not a college football hot take. That's a life lesson. If you're looking at somebody else, or if you're looking at your neighbor's grass and their house and their car, that's your fault. That's not their fault for having a nicer house, car, and lawn than you do. And I look at Greg Sankey in the exact same way. You've got to build the conference that you want. You've got to do what you've got to do. And maybe this is a Pac-12 conversation. Maybe the Pac-12 rummaging through every G5 conference they can find to see what team shakes out into the Pac-12. Hey, maybe that's just them doing what they need to do. But I would say the Pac-12 and their commissioners, including Teresa Gould, those are the villains of college football. Not Greg Sankey, who is, in my opinion, taking college football to the next level. When you have the viewership numbers that Georgia, Alabama put out the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild to me.
Hey, you have 15 million views for one football game. Like,
how is that even possible?
Yeah, I think the Pac-12 angle is an interesting one because the the clear difference between what the SEC has built and what the Pac-12 is doing is where they are in the conversation. I mean, I would agree that the Pac-12 is doing what they have to do, but building success and doing that and being vilified for that is different than tearing down other conferences so you can build success. And that's the difference between the two. And I think that's why, the Pac-12 has, in my opinion, a little bit of an image problem. And that's why the SEC doesn't have an image problem. They're just resented. Because,
I think they have a resentment problem.
Yeah, people just resent the SEC. They don't say, oh, well, the SEC is just rummaging through our conference. The SEC wasn't Greg Sankey wasn't the catalyst of Texas and Oklahoma going to that conference. Now, did he help make that happen? Yes, but let's not sit here and say that the SEC is, rummaging through conferences the way the Pac-12 is. And a lot of people like to say, oh, well, the SEC came for Texas and Oklahoma and they took this brand and that brand. No, actually, it was the other way. Those brands wanted to join a superior conference and came knocking, and Greg Sankey mutually valued those brands and helped make it happen, whereas the Pac-12 is out here just poaching teams.
I also think you look at the Big 12 versus the SEC. I mean, the Big 12, is victim the right word? That's probably strong. But if there's a conference that's been a victim of the SEC, check the roles of the Big 12 versus then and now. because you look at the A&Ms of the world or the Oklahoma and the Texases and the laundry list of teams, right, that have vacated, and you quickly begin to understand you have a choice. You can fold or you can fight and build back. And I think it's what's so remarkable about the Big 12's ability to survive. Now, some of that is the Pac-12's incompetence, because the Pac-12 should have gutted the Big 12 and they didn't. But this is the world we live in now. And if you look at this SEC Big 10 scheduling alliance, bro, they've got two of the biggest rivalry games every single year with Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State, Michigan. What is every Ohio State fan talking about right now?
Better beat Michigan this year.
You better beat Michigan this year, right? It's what's right with college football. And I just continue to say, as much as I believe in BYU and Utah is the most heated rivalry in college football, because it is, they're not drawing 20 million people to the TV.
No.
They're not drawing 15 million people to the TV.
That's 3-4 mil max.
It's just a different way of doing business. And I agree. And I want to play this bite again, because I think when you look at what Greg Sankey said here, it's a way that I believe we should all live our lives. I'm doing what I'm doing because you're upset. I shouldn't bring myself down to your level. You should get on my level and stop being upset.
I don't want to dumb down the Southeastern Conference to be part of some Super League notion with 70 teams that some people speculate would happen. They want to be us, and that's on them to figure it out, not on me to bring myself back to earth.
The Triple Option Podcast.
And I agree. The SEC is left earth. I agree with that. I think that the SEC is far and away, head and shoulders, not close, the best college football conference that we have. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, what about the Big Ten? Well, the Big Ten's problem is this is your first year having any semblance of a top to bottom competitive conference.
Yeah.
And the SEC has been doing that for years, to a point where people want to play 9 conference games, so things are a little more fair. And I just look, I think that college football, you don't get to have it both ways when you're outside of the SEC. So you can't say, oh, well, the SEC is destroying college football and Greg Sankey's a villain and they're doing all these terrible things and they want this and that, and that's not fair to us. But then at the same time, be that person in the conversation who's not helping college football. Like, that's the problem. Like, Greg is doing it his way, and the SEC is going about it a certain way, but they are the ones at the front. And so I just, people, I guarantee when we get to the comments today are going to say, oh, well, Greg is, being a red ass here. Greg is, a know-it-all. Like, the SEC is terrible. Like, they're going to hate on this, but I have to say, like, maybe we're living up to it today. I respect the SEC. I respect what they've built. I, as a football fan, look forward to watching SEC football every week. I'd rather watch a mediocre ass SEC game than watch, Utah play nobody. Like, I don't need to watch Utah versus Utah State to know how that game's going to go. I don't need to watch I don't need to watch Oklahoma State, K-State front to back to know how that game's going to go. We know how those games are going to go. But what did we say with the Georgia-Alabama game?
Don't miss a snap.
Hey, don't miss a snap of that thing, because you thought, hey, Georgia's defense is superior. I felt like, hey, it's at Bryant-Denny. Like, maybe there's a chance. And what did we get? We got an absolute classic.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, man. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think the hate for the SEC is exactly what sports is about. People hate the SEC because they're good. People hated Tom Brady and the Patriots because they were good. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs because they're good. I am somebody that very much believes hatred is great in sports. It's not so good in life, but it's great in sports.
Yeah.
And if somebody is as hated as the SEC, it's a tip of the cap. It's not an indictment. It's a tip of the cap. And I think if Notre Dame was in a conference, I would want Greg Sankey to be the commissioner of that conference. As simple as I can put it, because it is Greg Sankey and everybody else. It is not Tim Pernetti and everybody else, right? It's not Tony Petitti and everybody else.
Yeah.
It's Greg Sankey and everybody else. And if you're the Big Ten, absolutely, I would cozy up. Let's cuddle, let's spoon, Greg. Let's put on our PJs, hop under the down comforter, light the fire, sip some champagne, get me some Dom, and let's cuddle up, bro.
Yeah.
Because I want to be in bed with Greg Sankey. I believe that we should always be aspiring to win a championship. The Chicago Bears should always be playing to win a championship. They don't. The Cubs, don't even get me started. I want all of my sports teams. There's this NHL show. We were watching this clip, this Prime Video NHL show that's coming out. Connor McDavid losing his absolute mind in the Oilers locker room, screaming at the Oilers, saying it's not good enough. It's the NHL finals. It's the finals. That's what I want my captain to do. I want my teams to do that. I want my league to do that. I want my commissioner to do that. And you don't have to like it, but you better learn to love it. And if you're a fan of, and I know we have an enormous footprint in Big Ten country. If you're a fan of the Big Ten and you hate Greg Sankey, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
You don't get it. And if you are a fan of the Pac-12 or any other G5, if you're a fan of the ACC and you hate Greg Sankey, you don't get it. You should be pushing Jim Phillips. You should be pushing. It's what I love about Brett Yormark. I love that Brett Yormark operates in this space every day. And it's what I love about Brett Yormark. The guy wants to lop people's heads off. He wants to win everything. Not football, not basketball, everything. In the boardroom, on the court, the field, everything.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's what I love about Brett Yormark. I wish all of my teams operated like that.
Right.
All right. On a Football Friday, let's get your thoughts in here. It's been I wish Greg Sankey was making my Prize Picks selections because it's been a rough couple of days. And Pete Alonso with the New York Mets, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You guys know on Wednesday I had Pete Alonso, and he did not do Dioc. He didn't do anything. What did he do last night? Hit a walk-off, pretty much a walk-off home run.
Yeah.
Hit a game-winning home run. But that's and then there's Jake.
Yeah.
How'd we do in Prize Picks last night,
Dude.
Jake?
Excellent. 2 of 3. Made my money back. Had good old Kirk Cousins.
I warned you about Kirk Cousins last night.
Kirk Cousins.
Wait. Can we talk about Kirk real quick?
Yeah.
But his numbers were what? 5,600 yards just last night.
Yeah, he had 509 yards last night. Last night was
ridiculous.
Last night was what's his face? Old quarter Matt Ryan night.
Yep.
And Matt
Great
Ryan,
ceremony.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins comes out and breaks Matt Ryan's single game passing record with the Falcons last night on Matt Ryan night. And I told you guys, did I not say yesterday on the show, hey, Kirk Cousins, 47.5 passing yards in the first quarter, absolute lock. What did dude have in the first quarter? 109 yards. Pretty easy, dude. It's not difficult to understand. And then I got my guy last night in the playoff game, Francisco Lindor, for more than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
Another guy that I just...
Now, Jesse Winker, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. All I need you to do is have one base last night, and I'd have been 3-3, would have doubled my money, but no, not good enough.
I love Prize Picks for this exact reason. Prize Picks, download the app, use the promo code Monty. I think this weekend in the NFL, there's a lot of picking to do with the prizes at Prize Picks. You open up a new account, download the app, open up a new account. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you make a $5 deposit. All you do is deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more. It is amazing. I look at some of the passing yard numbers. I'm really curious about Andy Dalton.
The Red Rocket.
His number is 217.5 against the Chicago Bears. With Carolina, he has hit that the last 2 weeks against Cincinnati and Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of those defenses is on par with the beloved. And then there's my guy, Caleb Williams, who's 216.5.
What, no discount this week?
Who has a better week, Caleb Williams or Sam Darnold? Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, or like Aaron Rodgers has Minnesota this week.
Jaden Daniels against the Browns at 211.5. That feels nice.
I would probably take more, but that's a very good defense. That Browns defense is better than people give them credit for.
Another good one, Derrick Henry, half a rushing or receiving touchdown on a goblin. That's
But
a gimme.
is this the week that Sam Darnold comes back to earth? 225 is his number. I think I would go less than that. I would go more on Caleb Williams, less on Darnold.
Yeah.
I would go less on Aaron Rodgers at 225. I would go more on Lamar. Lamar Jackson's only 207 yards and a half. There are some good numbers. This is what I love about Prize Picks. Pick it up, prizepicks.com, or download the app in the link below the description here on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe, and then click the Prize Picks app. Link in the description below. You guys, you deposit $5 in a new account, they'll give you 50 more.
Yeah.
You can play the rest of the season. Yes, Mike Smith, the ginger gun. Go under on Dalton. I agree. I think the Bears are going to win that game. The Chicago Bears. And that's one of the games we're going to pick coming up during hour number 2 on the show. Panthers at the Bears. The Bears are -4 at home. Cannot wait. I think the toughest game to pick this week is Cowboys and Steelers.
Was just going to say Justin Fields' demon number for passing yards is only 224.5.
Against that defense with all those injuries, I think you got to take that.
Yeah.
I think you got to take that. All right, let's get to your comments right here on the Monty Show.
Now everybody says this is an SEC show.
That's right.
So I know that we're, you're fat old dying Mormon, and this is an SEC show. So let's make sure we live up to it.
We're doing the. Don't forget that we're doing the show in your basement.
Yeah, in my basement that I don't have.
I love it. Thomas Reed for $10. The rest of the conferences should align. Refuse to schedule the SEC and the Big Ten. Let them play each other, make their own league and title, problem solve. Big Ten and SEC can become semi-pro. Here's the problem, though. The other leagues would disappear. The other leagues would be non-factors. Because are you watching who's the worst team in the Big 12? Houston football. Kansas football. Are you watching Kansas and Virginia play football?
Wow.
Or are you going to watch Ohio State and Georgia? Are you going to watch the big dogs? I'm going to watch the big dogs. And here's the other question. In that scenario, where do you think Notre Dame goes?
Not with everybody else.
Not going to keep scheduling the ACC in that situation, are you? You're not. You're going to start scheduling the SEC and the Big Ten. That's not how you win. With all due respect, Thomas, I totally disagree. I think if you want to black out the SEC and the Big Ten from your schedule, you're the one that's losing that. That's not the Big Ten and the SEC aren't losing that.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to have bigger contracts than you. They're going to make more money than you, and they're still going to play for national championships, and you're not.
Yep.
And that's the harsh reality of it.